Real Madrid. The best team in the world, you've got to say. In the last 10 years, they have won 6 Champions Leagues out of 10, which is ridiculous. And they're just getting stronger with a new stadium and signing the world's best players. However, what if we could stop that literally by clicking our fingers? As just like rebuilding Barcelona, we now move to Los Blancos, only having access to the players coming through the academy. But this is different to Barcelona's rebuild. We want to complete it quicker than them, starting in the second tier and having to build our way back to the UCL using only youth players. We want the next Zidane, we want the next Vinicius Jr., and we want that next title being lifted in Madrid colours. As maybe not the next title, it might take a while, but yes guys, we are back, an academy rebuild back over in España. This time Real Madrid, I didn't opt for their kit, I opted for Grimsby's. Tried to go for a bit of a white one. As you can see, our players, nobody in the squad over the rating of 70 at the moment. Renier is the best. We've recalled a lot of players here. We've got Mario Martin, Raul Asensio, and the rule is same as Barcelona's. We cannot sign any players until we reach the UCL, when we can sign ex-academy graduates. And until then, we have literally got to only rely on youth players, as a lot of youngsters promoted like Gregorio Santa Maria looking excellent. And as for scouts, we can pay for them because we do have the money. The first one has to go to Spain. That's probably self-explanatory. Then I am going to send one to France because I really want to find another Zidane. And I'm going to send one to Brazil because there is a lot of French and Brazilian players now in the current Madrid side, as there's the first scout going to Spain, the second going to France to try and find that central midfield man, and the final going to Brazil to hopefully find the next Vinicius Jr. or a player just better than him that can actually win the Ballon d'Or. And yes, if you're wondering, I know he's not at the team, but about a man I did search for when I was at Barcelona to try and make the series a little more funny. We will be binning the scout off once we find a good player in France to search for a Ronaldo regen, hopefully in the second season maybe. Trust what we have right now, as it's put a lot of our youngsters in the team who are very decent. We've got Estaves in the midfield. However, formation wise, we've got to get this right. I do want to try and put up a promotion charge as quickly as I possibly can, as I'm going to go counter and aggressive defensively. Try and get playing like Real Madrid. Try and go attacking, you know. Go with inside forwards with the false 9 in the center of the strike force. A little bit like Benzema was when there was Bale and Ronaldo at the side of him. With Santa Maria starting, Alvaro on the wing, Renier on the other, as the only position we don't have really is a right back and a good goalkeeper now because Gonzalez is 19. If we could find a Iker Casillas, if we could find a Daniel Carvajal, our job would be made easier and we could probably get promoted out of this division. Unfortunately, season 1 though, we are not searching for a goalkeeper yet. Just want to promote the best players overall that we have found. And this is what we're gifted. This is a lot better than the Barcelona save. I'm going to be harsh and admit that, as Guilherme Sousa as a Brazilian winger can go into the team. If Vaquero could play right back, that's good. Rafael Costa's a decent striker. Where's our French midfielder though? Leon Lesage has a lot of potential. Plus we don't have the DM at the moment, so that is actually perfect to go into the team, as I've made a little shuffle around already. Sousa, Vaquero, Lesage immediately promoted from the academy, as a lot of boys will be getting loaned out as well. The likes of Nacho, Larauri, also Segura, and position changes are on the way. We really want to beat Barcelona's record of winning the UCL in 6 seasons. Could we potentially do it in 5? Feel we might have been a bit blessed here. Look at the coaches. We could afford them all. As like I say, we do have the money. It's just we don't have the players at the moment, nor can we sign any, but still this academy is going quite good. A lot of mishmash playing time, which I did expect. We're far away from the end of the season, so the likes of Martin may have played, it just hasn't played recently. Lesage has definitely played, and he's been quite decent. Decent enough I actually might end our French scout and change it towards that Portuguese, because you all know that was coming. At some point in this save, as our best player is Raul Asensio, one of the youngsters at Real Madrid who's actually really making a name for himself at the moment, because the others, well, I don't think they're getting played much. And a bunch of them are out on loan, so yes, they're getting played at other clubs. As Renier was the top scorer, proving it has given game time to him. But then a couple of youth players, Martinez, Nunez, not Darwin, and then we had a few loanee boys out of the club at the moment, as Javi Santos quite decent, 66 overall. And position changes to make because we hadn't made them yet. There's Vaquerio, and here's Renier himself, and then our other winger, Guilherme Sousa, who hopefully will be made to fight for his spot if we do get a good Ronaldo figure in next season, as I wanted a promotion fight. And 9th, okay, it's not as bad as we did with Barcelona season 1, I don't think anyway. I'm not trying to think too much about Barca now, because we're in charge of Real Madrid's academy, Los Blancos, not La Masia, as our cup run this season in the Copa de España ended in round 1 still. Slightly disappointing, so you know what's going to make this video not? If you guys subscribe to the channel, because we are on the race to 50k subscribers before the summer comes around in full, and also please hit the like button, it really puts the videos out, and can we aim for 700 likes? That would be amazing. As you can see, being in this division for 2 seasons in a row takes the budget down to 67. It's a lot for it at this level, and it's only going into youth again. Coaches are stacked up, and now we need to stack our best 11 out onto the field, as I believe that is it for now. Showing midfield could still do with working on, because Martinez, although he did score a lot, is only 68 rated, same as Vaquero, the defender turned right back. But goalkeeper I'm focusing fully on, with Gonzalez being 20-year-old, 70 rated, but the problem is, he is the only keeper at the club, and I could look for the next Courtois, but I am going to stick to Spaniards, and I'm looking for Iker Casillas. One of my first memories of watching football was in 2010, and seeing Casillas absolutely pull a blinder out in the World Cup. Yes, I may not be a goalkeeper myself, but I'm picking the 5-star scout to go and find a keeper in Spain to try and replicate the big man, as then I'll allow myself, while still being in the 2nd division, to look for a Brazilian winger to still try and find the next Vini Sousa. Or Junior, sorry. I'm still thinking about the Sheffield United defender. As finally, Portugal, and you know who we are going to look for. Don't have to say it again, as I'm going left wing and striker. Maybe his son's a free agent. Maybe his son could come through our academy, as we can clean our current academy out, as it stands quite decently. With Diogo Lima, who I will promote, but the rest of them are French. And like I said, I've already got my French Zidane regen. In Lesage, who looks like he could be a capable centre-back, but he will stay in that DM position, maybe not as attacking as Zinedine Zidane was. But I trust him, and the academy, well, this year shows how lucky we got in the first year, because this one, not a great intake, I've got to say. Goalkeeper-wise, only Raul Aguado, who's 3 years younger than Gonzalez, but 6 ratings lower. I was hoping for a 68 rated, as then Gabriel Ferreira's decent, and this man Costa, who could be the next CR7, but Thiago Abreu, 92 potential to 94. If we loan this guy out season 1, he could come back as superstar, as now 37 players, and some really good ones at the top of the academy, or past academy, like Raul Asensio, like I keep on saying. As with a goalkeeper on the bench, can this team now fight for promotion? Trust in the process. After so much loaning out's been done, we finished 3rd, 2 points off, the same goal difference as 2nd place, meaning Real Madrid will unfortunately not be promoted to the top division through automatics, but we have the playoffs, which surely we have been favourites for, as I can't wait to get rid of Cadiz, actually doing us again in the Copa. But all we want is promotion, as in the first semi-final round, we dispatched Deportivo to get a good team, and Almeria, who we also dispatched in 2 legs, beating them 4 goals to 1. meaning we will be promoted with our young side, but is that young side good enough to challenge to stay in the top division? Because we're in a race here to, like I have kept saying, see who's got the best academy in La Liga or in Spain, as this academy is much better off than the Barcelona one was. With Renier almost an 80, Alvaro a 75 striker, a 79 in Martin, 78 in Gonzalez, who we chose to keep in goal, as on the bench we chose to keep Rodriguez and keep a lot of rather younger players and weaker that we loaned out to hopefully make our youngsters we loaned out overpowered for next season in the top division, as none of them are the best players. The best players already at the club. I mean, Asensio's been took over. We have Santa Maria at a 72. He was on loan at Wigan, where Spanish players have done all right before. Look at the manager who won them the FA Cup. Martinez as Lirawi. He's gone on loan in Belgium. Oh no, it was Wuhan Five Towns as Captain Marvel. He's been on loan at Darmstadt. And then we've got a pile up of 68 and 67 rated faces, which unfortunately not good enough to stay in that top tier, I'd say. But at least we do have the players at the club in Alvaro, Esteves, and a bunch of ones that have done really good. But where is our next Ronaldo? 65 rated after a loan deal at Ross County. Not the greatest start of careers for the next Cristiano Ronaldo, and at least he will probably go out on loan again because we have no choice here. This is the team we've got to the top division with, and it will stay that way because we cannot sign players. We can't sign until we're in the UCL. And unlike the Barcelona save where I said no one over the age of 25, I am going to change it up here. It just has to be an ex-academy graduate. It can be any of them, just, you know, to make this a little more interesting and stop focusing on the ages. But for now, we cannot spend that money still. Back to the academy we go. As the players currently in there, I am going to release them all because, quite frankly, they've not been good enough. Last year's youth intake was shocking, and we definitely need to do better this year. So firstly, we're going to check Spain. We're going to go probably for a midfielder now. Try and find an Iniesta, or maybe try and find a defender as well. We'll cut it straight through the middle. There we go. Go for a central player anywhere. Then Ronaldo will do another swoop for. We're going to look for a left mid / striker. However, the final scout we are not going to use because we've got enough Brazilians in the team as it stands, because Renier, one of our wingers replacing Vinny Jr., and Rafael Costa, the new backup striker in town, alongside Guilherme Sousa and Gabriel Ferreira. They are all Brazilian players, and we have to try and promote Spanish now. Get a lot of these players out still on loan, because I am going to loan out Santa Maria. One more year out for this guy, because he's still only 19-year-old, as we will trust Costa to be our backup striker in season number 1 in this division, as we're going to trust this team. No changes to make so far. Or maybe there is with Fernando Mendoza. I'm going to train him as a right back. And also contracts are now expiring, and you definitely know what this means here in Spain. Release clauses. That means a player can be paid for at any moment and just depart the club, potentially derailing our entire season. And as you can see, players like Santa Maria have got the release clauses enabled. So I think to avoid them getting sold in the first season, we loaned them back out again. And by the way, contracts got expensive. A lot more expensive here with Real Madrid compared to any other save I've done before as the academy. Some decent looking faces and a decent player to sit in front of the defense again. Another Gregorio in Gonzalez. Then we've got Segura, we've got Cuevas, and we've also got Bernardo Arnos, who could be the next Ronaldo. Let's see what he can do getting a loan out to Real Oviedo, as the man who last season played at Ross County has leveled up to go to Norwich. A huge amount of loaning out done, and it unfortunately hasn't worked out in terms of Champions League football for Madrid, but when we only needed to avoid relegation, finishing Europa League is not bad. That gives us a trophy to play for. I think that's how we currently play it, as we actually did reach the quarterfinals. Thought we could go further though, but Almeria, who we beat last year in the playoffs, stop our journey right there, as in the Europa League, Fiorentina went and lifted the trophy as Bilbao were in the finale. And they are a team team as we go to look. What results did we get against them? Okay, so we lost 2-0 against them, so we're probably not up to winning the Europa League. As we stand, and yes, we were beaten 4-1 in the other game by them. Safe to say, Onyaki and Williams Jr. are firing. Goals in at this level as our team is definitely grown. Defensively for one, because we've got 80 rated, and in the attack, Alvaro now an 83 rated, same as Renier. Gonzalez, though, he's been left behind, and he's a winger when Renier doesn't have to be. So maybe we could change this shape next season to a different one. As I think we also lost a player. Did we lose someone in the middle? We did. I remember his name, and he's actually gone and won the Europa League with Fiorentina. It is Ricardo Estevez. And it's a shame that it's one of our youth that's gone. I really hate when they leave the club, but not when they leave on loan, because I am looking at our highest rated players. And Gregorio Santa Maria, who's been loaned out to Sao Paulo, has gone to an 83, still at only 19 years of age. And that is the club that raised Gyökeres, so you know they can have a good striker. And they've created one right here for us, but our striker is not the top scorer. It is Renier, then Alvaro, then actually Mario Martins, the captain for now, as Rafael Costa's still pretty decent. I scrap that though, 84 rated, Santa Maria's still clear of him, and he's actually the best striker if we put him in the team, but I'm going to change this. As I said, with Gonzalez doing a little bit more pants this year, if we do go ahead and change the formation, definitely not going to change them tactics, because they're working for us, but the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, which is what they used to play, I believe, with Benzema, Bale and Ronaldo. I think they play it sometimes this season. Now we can change the team around and go for something like this. If we just made Renier a cam again, we've definitely got a supportive bench, all over 70 rated now. But can it really win the Europa League, especially when we can't sign any players still? We are relying on growth, and we've only had one player leave to a pre-contract. Maybe we could change some positions around. Leon Lesage, I keep looking at him to maybe make him a central defender, because them stats, the 84 defending, the 83 physicality. He hasn't worked out like a Zidane, because he's definitely not our team carrier. And we do have Danny Martinez, who could obviously stay as a centre mid, as we do try and take this risk, and this is what the defence would look like. And I know it seems stupid taking Jacobo out of it. Now, I thought he could be a right back. I'm going to train him as one, but he can still be a backup. As Renier back to a cam will only take 34 weeks. That's actually pretty longer than I initially expected, as I'm changing all the wingers to cams now. Apart from them, I'm going to loan out, as I'm only gambling on one scout. I'm going to go to Spain, and I am going to search the midfield position still, as it'll take a miracle to get a player in the centre of the park. But this year's academy's done very well. We've got Martin Cordoba, Fran Marquez a cam when we don't really need him with Renier, and Tony Mosquera, who could change to a centre mid. They'll all get put out on loan, but of course, speaking of changes, we do have our centre-back swap, as his rating does not change. And I guess you win some, you lose some, but to make this loss even worse, we changed him. He wasn't good enough. He sat on the bench and then left to Brentford, where he's become an 87 rated. I don't believe it. Why didn't he just stay for literally one more season? Because surely we've done better in the league. You miss all the shots you don't take, but that is a horrific miss, because his replacement is right-footed on the left, and it is Jacobo next to Asensio, my stew. And come on, we've got to be more positive. Our team is absolutely world-class with 290 rateds in it. Martin and Renier, yes, they are two real-life players, but the youth academy still worked with Gregorio Santa Maria. We might not have the new Ronaldo, but at least we've got that man. And Guilherme Souza, he's actually done okay out on loan. Same as Mario Royo, and I actually hate that I just praised Souza, because I've just realised the club he left to. Yes, it's that bunch. Safe to say I'm definitely not a fan of the team he's actually made a move to, as our top scorer this season was our cam over our two strikers. Unusual, but yes, we've done it. we finished second, meaning we do have UCL football. 3 points off Barcelona still. A win cost us the title, but still, I'm not bothered about that. Now we can actually sign players who have been in Real Madrid's academy. And again, if you watch the Barcelona video where I completely messed up by saying Pedri was in La Masia, this time it's a little bit different. We can just sign anybody who has been in the Real Madrid academy, so they didn't have to start there, because I know Pedri didn't. Anyway, back to Real Madrid, as we did go far in the tournament, or I thought we had of the Copa de España, losing to Rayo Vallecano. Shameful that, but still, we should be back in the Champions League next season, as this season we finished 7th in the Europa. Not bad, it wasn't our priority, as the first game we hammered Marseille. Then we did beat RB Leipzig 2-0. Before Wolfsburg were dispatched 3-1, making a final in which we hammered Manchester United, meaning we have won a trophy at the expense of Manchester United. Apologies to Man United fans, as we do have Andres, Souza and Royo decently rated at the moment, as the man who should have been the next man who links Real Madrid and United, Ronaldo, hasn't worked out. He's going to stay in the reserves a little bit longer. I don't know why I'm putting a winger on the bench. Maybe if we change him to a cam, he could maybe take Renier's spot. And our strikers I do love, despite them not getting as many as I expect them to. We'll change them around. We'll put the right footer on the right, the left on the left, as the player we probably could use signing is a central midfielder. As yes, 5 seasons deep, you finally did hear that phrase right. I am not going to use the academy because we can go one better. Spend some money, as 295 million euros. Safe to say winning the Europa League has done us a favour. Going into this season as the first player, it's straightforward. I need to sign a midfielder, and unfortunately Luka Modric doesn't fit the bill. Wasn't really in their academy, and plus he'll be about 50 now. As Nico Paz, he's left-footed, and we do need a left-hand side midfielder. And this is a flex of our money as well. He does look rather cheap, but we don't need many squad improvements, and there is a release clause on the guy. Do think his rating could be higher, and before you tell me his youth career was not at Real Madrid, it was between 2016 and 2022, according to Wikipedia, which isn't the best of information receivers. But I'm going to try and make him a centre mid again, and yes, it may take a lot of weeks, and he's still essentially a bench player, but I'm very happy to have him at the club, as now the defence could be worked on. Mendoza did start as a left back, because right back is a slot I have in mind, an amazing player, and I have mentioned Carvajal before, but no, it's actually not him. It is another player that isn't actually Spanish, but comes from their academy. And you might not have actually known it, but he was in Real Madrid's youth team 10 years. Hakimi, who takes what is only described as a preposterous wage, joining alongside this man. And if you don't recognize him from his facial features, this is Luka Zidane, who was in the academy for a little moment, and is of course the son of the legend we tried to recreate, Zinedine. As now we've got to get these players in their correct positions. Leaving us this team to start the season with, we're a little bit weak at the back centrally, and I guess we could try and re-sign our centre-back back, Lisage, but still, I'm very happy with the rest of this squad. As we'll start with the ratings season 5, because this is the season. If we are to beat our Barcelona record, we need to win the Champions League. In our first time of qualifying, as we've only got 3 90 rated players, a few 89s though, a few very high rated. Obrador I didn't expect, and I also expected goals from our strikers. Alvaro was actually outscored by Rafael Costa, as Renier was top again, and Nice as a midfielder, who didn't start very nicely, but now is an 87 overall. Grabbing 15 assists. We've got a midfield better than Kroos and Modric. Maybe not in their prime, but now we can make actually a few more changes. Do we put Paz in for Martinez though? I'm gonna just do it for now, now, just because he's a real-life player, and we do have regens in that 11. But honestly, this Madrid team, this might actually do it. All things considered, and we actually make it to the final, as Barcelona's still very good because they only took one defeat all season, stopping us from winning a title. And the rivals of the city, Atleti, beat us 1-0 in the Supercopa semis. That's 2 trophies failed in, and actually make it 3 now. Yes, we won the Europa last year, but disappointments as a finale defeat to Atleti. Again, the rival. Again, the same result as the Supercopa as the Super Cup as well. That goes Paris's way, 3-1, leaving everything here. And to be fair, we had a very good run, winning the league phase, but like you see, there's Nice in 4th, meaning nothing is guaranteed. However, we had a massive hammering of Dortmund, and then a win against Liverpool. If they're really good in England still, that is a huge achievement, as when we're not playing a team in Spain, we make it to a final, and Barcelona will not be the team we play, and that's good because they hammered us in the league. Yes, it would have been an El Clasico, but it will be RB Leipzig, as can we win the UCL before we did with Barca? As it's a very weird feeling. Yes, we've managed them the entirety of the save, but having Real Madrid in a finale and us being in charge of them, very weird feeling, like I say. As we don't have wingers, we've got to be careful with Hakimi. We're dribbling into players a lot at the start, but that's a very neat pass around and maybe cross to the wrong player. Alvaro waiting in the middle, as I did see with this man, Santa Maria. He has the power shot and he is a very tall striker. Let's test it out. To start off with, it's hit with a lot of venom and falls to Alvaro out wide. We haven't really put tactics on players. Santa Maria's very tall. Doesn't win the rebound header. After his first chances now, Pepe. We are playing in Portugal, so we should have a bit of advantage, as that's very poor defending from us. And the one time I think it's a bad tackle, it's actually good, so we've kind of got away with one. But here goes Renier. Santa Maria was through the middle. We're using Paz, who, of course, I did stick into the lineup. If he can cross that forward, Santa Maria on the volley. Missing the target, unfortunately, as, oh dear, we've lost it in the defense. I know it's our weakest position. Fran Gonzalez with the save. It was Pepe with the shot, as now a header to the edge of the box. Renier steps his man, and if he can play that through, you know, that's why he's been one of our best players. It's just to perfection, and our Nice has scored a lot of goals this season, battling for the ball back. If he could put it across the box, Alvaro down the middle, and that has all come from the pass of our Brazilian Renier, or Renier, I don't know how it's said. Very unselfish of our centre mid, for our number 9, the man with the no power shot, to just blast it down the middle and get us into this lead. Come on, Renier. Look at that for a ball. This time it's to our power man, Santa Maria, looking for an instant double. Just unfortunately not going for us, but now we're into the second half, and it's Alvaro playing the ball, but Vardiol back at Leipzig. Interesting. Maybe Manchester City's gone under with their charges, as now Hakimi, charging into the middle himself, goes for the shot from range, and was worth a go for the right back. Wouldn't encourage it again, sure, but really worth the go for us as a tackle. Renier, now he's usually the best at passing, so I'm going to give him the ball back. If he could dip that over the top to Alvaro. Could always tell that was going too far, as our Nice with the tackle though, Nico Paz. If we find Renier, it means we'll get a good pass off here, and that, actually no, it's not a good one. I'm forcing him to be the man with the golden foot, as now Hakimi makes a tackle on this right-hand side. Look at the strength. Oh my days. Even on this new difficulty, he does it with the ball into the box. Oh my days, that deserved a goal. Saved by the goalkeeper. Now this should be the last chance of the game. I'm going to try my corner towards Alvaro. Oh dear, and the corner has not worked out. We need to try and put a tackle in to block it. And the referee's blown the whistle. But what is this for? This cannot be a penalty kick. Oh my days, he's gave it. He's gave it, and now Javi Simmons scores. I don't believe it. How was that a penalty kick? Let's watch the instant replay here. Savinho dribbling. It hits his hand. It hits his hand outside of the box. That is never, ever a penalty. Yet here we are, one step closer to a penalty shootout overall, as now Santa Maria Our players will probably be getting tired. The La Liga season finishes quite soon after everything. Oh dear. An injury as well for a tired man. That's what I mean. Our players getting tired, but the game goes on. Martin's been here a while. He strikes an Alvaro. Why? Why not just stick your foot out? A goal waiting for you as Nico Paz does give it into Santa Maria, who I will take off at half-time in extra time, but if he could get a goal here, would have made things interesting as I've made the subs. I've made a few midfield changes and Costa is up front. This man has the Travella shot. If we could cross it straight to him, though, that looked more like a shot to me. But it just hasn't worked out for him, as now we're approaching penalties, and I can't lie, I know it may be entertaining for you guys to see, but I really don't want spot kicks. This is a good run from the midfielder, just coming onto the field in Martinez. We might avoid spot kicks if that passes right, which it isn't. On my days, it is going to be a penalty shootout. The first one of these I've seen in a hot minute, as their goalkeeper was brilliant. The first goal, though, Renier strikes it in. Andre Silva just needs to be saved. Oh my days, that is a perfect penalty. As Hakimi now, I've seen them move slightly to the left-hand side, so we'll slot that in. 3 for 3. Now it is down to Carrizo. Now, I am going to go to that side. He hits the post. Alvaro a little bit dodgy in game. And this time I'm going to switch sides. And of course he's gone and missed. He was absolutely dreadful as Wilfred Gnonto misses himself. Now Nico Paz, please don't do it. He scores. Now it's advantage Real Madrid and we could win it here. If there's a save from Baumgartner's spot kick, just stick your hands out. That would have won the entire thing, but Martinez has been absolutely brilliant since he came on. And that is the best of all. The man with the long sleeves. We'll try and call him a Ronaldo regen. Wins Real Madrid the title. First penalty shootout in ages. And that is the big trophy done in spectacular fashion. This is an amazing feeling. Finally get to lift the UCL trophy. Hakimi's going to do it after all those years at PSG. He goes back to the club he was a youth player at and lifts it with Los Blancos. As I really enjoy these youthful saves, do you guys want to see another one? If you do, comment below and click here for more videos on screen. And also don't forget to like and subscribe on the road to 50k.